Since coming into the league, Chris Paul has been one of the best NBA point guards year in and out, averaging 18.5 points and 9.5 assists per game. Paul has been so good that there are discussions about him being a potential Hall of Famer even though he hasn't won a ring yet. Speaking of rings, that leads me to the question, what is Chris Paul's future going to look like in the NBA? It's no secret that OKC wasn't CP3's first option, or second, but the fact that he complied with the team and made his best effort to make things work speaks volumes about his character. CP3 could have easily turned this into a drama episode, considering the fact that it would be a wasted season since he is in his 15th year. But Paul kept quiet and sneakily made the All-Star team, averaging 18 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds on a playoff Thunder team. He did this all while guiding the Thunder's future star, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, Paul has clearly accepted the fate of his 15th season, but I find it highly unlikely that he's willing to waste an additional 2 years on a franchise trending towards more of a youth culture. Prior to the NBA's halt, Paul was playing great basketball, which was attracting many teams' eyes. Although I doubt CP3 would be thrilled, the New York Knicks were showing some interest for trading for him, so he could be a great veteran presence that could help mold their youngsters. It's safe to say that Paul, if moved, would most likely end up on a championship contending team. Now, even though it may not seem like it, Paul does have some leverage pertaining to his NBA future. As president of the NBA Players Association, it's no secret that Paul is deeply connected with a lot of NBA players, meaning that his word has a lot of weight to it. For the Thunder, they are well aware that their relationship with their all-star guard is also a potential PR disaster. The Thunder want to attract that next wave of talent, so they need all the positivity surrounding their franchise that they can get. Prior to being dealt to the Thunder, 2 Eastern Conference teams that were rumored to be keeping tabs on the then Rockets guard were the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. With the Sixers pretty much locked with their salaries for the next couple of years, it's hard to imagine them trading for an older CP3 who's slated to make $40+ million during each of his final 2 years on the deal. The Miami Heat, however, do seem like a pretty intriguing option. Personality-wise, Paul and the Heat seem perfect for each other. A no BS franchise and a no BS pitbull point guard paired with a no BS prime Jimmy Butler and an emerging Bam Adebayo does seem like a really serious playoff team. In terms of actually getting the trade done, the Heat are one of the few teams that can actually make that happen. They're slated to only have $82 million in guaranteed contracts for the next year, with the cap projected to be around $115 million. Plus, with Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, and Duncan Robinson, they definitely have a lot of young tradable talent that the Thunder might want. Pat Riley's a shrewd decision maker, so it's always hard to gauge what he's really thinking. The biggest roadblock to this possibility happening might not be because of Paul's contract, but actually Giannis Antetokounmpo. The former and possibly repeat MVP is slated to be a free agent next offseason, and Pat Riley and the Heat are rumored to believe that they can potentially entice Antetokounmpo to join their team. This was also another reason the Miami Heat didn't really pull the trigger on Paul or any other big names recently. They have been quietly setting themselves up for that 2021 free agent class. Moving on, because of his relationship with LeBron James, Paul's possibility of landing on the Lakers can't be not talked about. CP3 and LeBron have always talked about the possibility of playing with one another, and for these best friends to make that happen, there isn't much time left to do it. The Lakers are expected to have about $120 million on their cap. Now, Anthony Davis will most likely opt out and re-sign, but if LeBron and company are really serious about having CP3 to add to the team, trading Danny Green and KCP while also convincing Davis to take a little less for a year or two may be enough for Paul to land to the Lakers. The Thunder don't really get much in this deal, but the bad PR from stopping something like this could be much worse. Plus, GM Sam Presti already has a boatload of assets for the future, so it isn't like he's desperate for getting the perfect deal. Paul on the Lakers would be a great addition, considering the fact that it would allow LeBron to take even less of a load playing on ball. He's also always been a very solid defender, and just his sheer decision making would be tremendous for the Los Angeles Lakers. Ultimately, if Paul were to be traded to another championship level team, I look at the Miami Heat as the most likely destination on the East, and the Los Angeles Lakers, although it would be a bit harder, as the likely team on the West. Paul's ultimate enemy in all this could be COVID-19. With experts already predicting no NBA fans for next season, combined with the already loss in revenue, ESPN's Bobby Marks projects that the cap could dip, worst case scenario, 25 to 30 million. If this were to happen, trading for Paul and his huge contract would be even harder for teams. Hopefully, for the sake of Paul's career, he can land on a championship level team so he can give that run for the ring one last shot. Let me know what you think. Do you think Chris Paul is going to end up staying at OKC? Or if he does leave, which team is the best fit for Paul to possibly claim his first ever NBA championship? Thanks always for watching, guys.